And yeah, interesting is a word to use. Still not my favorite here to see. We've seen a couple of teams slip back to the Veno for early aggression, for early magic damage. There are ways to make it work, but the timing is really sensitive. So we'll see whether or not
10
SAG
seconds
can
remaining.
maximize the power spike of that hero very early on. They'd
Vici
have to play
Gaming
pretty
has
aggressive with this
Dire
kind of
Team
lineup.
pick.
Well, there's that Rubik coming out for
Ooh.
Vici now, so they're not going to allow Felix to get that third pick Rubik we've been seeing every game, but Sparking Arrow Gaming refuse to waste any time. They go straight for the Brewmaster now, and I'm kind of sitting here wondering who's playing core here. You've got 3 potential offlaners right now on the side of Sparking Arrow. I'm going to assume it's that Brewmaster.
Mm. For sure. I think the Brew needs the space the most. He's the guy that really escalates with a
10
farm and with
seconds
EXP.
remaining.
He's the most disruptive in lane as well. So I would toss
5
him
seconds
as
remaining.
priority on the off. I think SAG might be able to flex the Veno as, say, a mid laner. A support duo of Clock Veno just it sounds like it has a lot of holes. There's a lot of ways for VG to kind of manipulate that. On the other hand,
Mm,
that is a support duo that comes online really quick. You just need a little bit of EXP from the laning phase, and they do a ton of damage. So
that they
that
do.
is something SAG could consider. I have to say, it's rather curious to pick the Brewmaster into the Rubik. Like, there are tons of ways for the Rubik to really enjoy that matchup. Just get a lot of control out early on. So we'll see just how effective SAG can make this brew be. Of course, if you do allow it to have space, it's very disruptive. It's a very hard hero to keep in control. So that's something VG will have to pay attention to. You can't allow the brew to really run away. We've seen it so many times with Brewmaster players where
Dire Team
they are
pick.
just so darn annoying in that.
Well, Centaur Warren are now going to come out from Vici Gaming, so not a bad pick. We've seen Yang play this many times before, and he does tend to do a pretty darn good job of that Centaur. However, in SAG fashion, again, refusing to use any of their time, we'll go straight into the Lena pick now, and this draft's looking really weird from SAG, I've got to say. I don't know what they're up to yet. All I can tell you is it comes online very early, and all these heroes create a lot of chaos. But apart from that, excuse me, my dog's apparently going off in the background, but apart from that, this draft does look very confusing from SAG. It's like, what's the game plan apart from we can make all kinds of chaos happen in a team fight?
It's like, well, the lanes are fairly open. I think the key thing is your timers are really short. You're going to be playing a fast game regardless. You don't want to drag this one out too long. You're going to have to look for the early objectives, look for the early kills, because this lineup, it goes with a boom and then really mellows out, especially at that Venomancer. It's something we talk about when the hero is
Dire
picked,
Team back.
but again, you have to play really fast when you draft that Veno. SAG's got the follow-up for it. We'll see how they close out. Like, at this point, you don't really expect like a farm-heavy core to come out anymore. You just want something that plays at that pace, maybe just needs very slight farm to start contributing and really take over the map. Because the moment you miss out on these spikes
10
from
seconds
SAG,
remaining.
it falls apart. Like these heroes, the clock still has
5
utility, and the
seconds
Brewmaster
remaining.
does as well. But the damage from the Veno tapers off. The Lina can taper off until you start building towards right click, but that is very late in the game. So have to play pretty fast here with SAG's draft, and they're gonna need a very fast
Dire
last
Team
pick.
pick.
Weaver will
Vici
be the
Gaming
final ban, and
turn to pick.
here we go again. Just a straight Terrorblade pick coming out now. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this draft anymore. Do I like it? No. That's as far as I can go with this. I don't like where SAG's gone with their draft. I won't say it's bad because I don't know what their game plan is.
Mm,
And this is the upper bracket, right? The winner of
yeah.
this gets to go to the finals. This game's going to decide it. There's no time to play around here for SAG. And judging by how fast they made these picks, John, they must be quite confident.
Yeah, honestly, it's a very awkward draft from SAG, but it does come online fast. Think about the push. Lina Veno Terrorblade. Towers
Right.
will melt. Terrorblade doesn't take too much farm early. Like he's just gonna be so hard to deal with. Although you do have, admittedly, there is some really good magic damage from VG. The Ember Spirit and Grimstroke might be a bit much, so that's something for SAG to have to respect. But I can see what they're trying to do. I'm with you though. I don't agree with this kind of draft, but if they can actually get control, it might be a bit too much to try to stop. It's a very aggressive startup here for SAG. Oh,
Okay, the PL comes out. There's not really too many ways to deal with the PL in this game, in all fairness. I say that you do have the Lina, decent wave clear. You've got the Veno as well. Apart from that, though, there's nothing else. Unless you do manage to, of course, maybe hook onto the PL, you maybe get him in the Tornado of the Brewmaster. That could be a bit detrimental to Eurus's game. But apart from that, it does seem like a very, very free PL game. And when you look at that Terrorblade, that God King's going to have to make work. By the way, that's a sick color to have on that Terrorblade. I've never seen the green before. But
yeah.
even the wings, by the way, I haven't seen those either. But if you can't get an amazing advantage throughout that early to mid game, I think Eurus just has the freest game of his life.
Yeah, it's going to be an issue. You can't allow this one to drag out too long for SAG. They don't quite have the solutions to that PL, as you mentioned. So I love the way VGs close out. It does mean that VG will have to try to counteract that early aggression from SAG with basically 4 heroes. Eurus, he's not going to contribute too much until maybe you see the Manta Diffusal coming out early on. Maybe he might opt for the SNY just for stats to join in earlier. Really depends on how VG decides to go about it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Take it easy, Yang.
That's
Take
really
it easy, mate.
It's right in our face.
I looked away from the screen for a second. I looked back, and there was someone trying to attack me. It's not really as threatening with OP God's Venomancer, I've got to say, though. It's not
he's just spitting on us. You know, it's not scary. It's just mildly offensive, but not scary. Definitely not.
By the way, John, Pos 3 Venomancer. Red Panda's going to be on the Clockwork, so that's a Pos 5 Clockwork and a Pos 4 Brewmaster.
Interesting. I mean, we've seen the Pos 4 Brew before, not very recently. This is a...
It's an interesting one, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's all I really can say about it. I'm not very keen on it, mind you, but again, SAG's draft, it's very different, but explosive. So if they can actually win out in laning, then if they keep that pace, take the early objectives, it is pretty scary. They just have to reach that point.
Yang is going to go ahead and take the outpost straight away. Standard stuff, they won't be able to find God King. He's in a very defensive position right now on that Terrorblade. Of course, that mid matchup, you'll see Ori there, and he's going to be up against, well, not Red Panda, he's not. It's going to be the Lina, of course. So DD now going to have a completely different hero this time around, and of course we'll see Ori go back to that Ember Spirit he did play in Game 1. He can be very dangerous on this Ember as well. We did see this, I believe it was yesterday, him just carrying a game completely with the Ember. Not so much today though, not yet, but this might be the game we see it. Of course, we'll have OP God and Felix hanging out with each other down that bot lane, and Eurus will be there as well, up against them on the PL. DY will join him as well on the Grimstroke. Should be very interesting though to see how this support Brewmaster pans out, I've got to say. He does decide to... You know what? If you do go for Cinderbrew maxing out, as well as OP God's Gale and Poison Sting, that could be pretty devastating.
Yeah. Yeah, that does pile on and just refresh itself, so... I guess there's that to consider in this specific combination. That's probably just what SAG wants to get done.
It's... I'm going to keep an eye on this lane, just to see... Once they get level 2 or 3, I want to see what they do with it. Top lane, of course, God King's going to be there. Trying to deal with Yang, but this is a very difficult lane to deal with, and he does get stunned up. Yang going for the level 1 hoof stomp rather than the retaliate, which is a bit unorthodox from Yang, but can still be very, very effective in terms of harassment, especially up against the Terrorblade, who does tend to have a very, very high amount of base armor.
Yeah, it's going to be tearing right through him when he does come in for the last hits. You also see the Conjurer image being prioritized by God King, so you're not seeing the level 1 Metamorphosis, which means it can be a bit harder to find some easy last hits here.
That it can be. Back down to that bot lane. They're about to hit level 2. Haven't really seen much happen yet. I think DY is probably going to be the main target they focus on with that Cinderbrew Gale. Because it's just going to be so easy to burst him down. Especially if Felix does go for something like the Drunken Brawler afterwards. Because that damage output can get a little bit insane with all those crits. Though, top lane, Red Panda, just dealing with the creep for now. Does get it denied in his face because the battery salt ends. That's a bit of a shame. PYW will just walk away feeling proud of himself now. And on the brighter side for SAG, so far God King, I mean, it's not amazing considering the start he's having right now, but it's not too bad either. It just seems as though he's not able to close the gap on that creep until he does go for the meta. And now he'll be able to farm a lot more safely.
Ooh. Red Panda, though?
In trouble. PYW gets another hit off. It's not enough. He'll survive. He will commit the salve now. Bot lane as well, by the way. DY ended up falling very low. And I believe that was the combo we were looking for. And he does commit his own salve. But it's just so much dot damage with the Cinderbrew, Poison Sting, and Gale that he lost like 3/4 of his HP, and I didn't even see them auto-attacking him. We'll see how it goes again. He's playing a lot more cautiously now, understanding what they're up to. Eurus, well, there's a double Gale with the Cinderbrew. It's only level 1 Cinderbrew, but that dot damage is going to hurt once you get a few more levels up. And mid lane as well. PYW going to make a rotation now. DD going to be the target. He does get lifted back up and thrown back down. Ori, LSA will be dodged out. Very nice by him. But now Red Panda's here. It won't be enough. PYW does claim the first blood of this game. I guess on the brighter side, Red Panda does get a bit of XP for himself in the mid lane, but you don't want to be losing that Lina like that. It's not good news.
No, definitely not, and that does give Ori a bit more breathing room. He did see a lot more going towards DD in that mid lane, just really abusing that range advantage and the wave clearing capabilities of the Lina, so this was something Ori really needed to draw. Even, I don't think DD falls behind too far behind there, but you'd rather maintain that lead for yourself as the Lina.
Top lane, Yang is just going at God King right now. He just does not care, does not respect him at all. Almost takes him out as well. He will force out the salve. You cannot leave this Terrorblade alone. When he does not have Metamorphosis, there is no way he's farming.
Oh no. It's just really tricky for God King to maintain that lane solo. But he has to, because Red Panda's going to have to follow PYW around every single time the Rubik gets the rotation out.
Bot lane as well. Inkswell onto Eurus, trying to go after OP God with the Stroke of Fate. It's not going to be quite enough damage, but they do get a hell of a lot of harass out, and he'll also commit his own salve now on that Venomancer. It's like there has been a bit of a struggle here for Eurus as well in terms of the safe lane of Vici Gaming. He just doesn't feel comfortable to be able to come close to get those last hits because you've always got OP God. Just having that Poison Sting denies his own ward off as well, not giving any form of gold away to that PL. It's just a very difficult situation for both safe lanes where they just can't farm efficiently.
Yeah, it's easier for God King to play catch-up in the jungle. It is a Terrorblade, you've got the Conjure Image, he does have Metamorphosis as well to play around with. It is a slightly trickier for Eurus. He's just trying to get the pulls off, clearing out that large camp, but he can't really just spend all his time in the jungle. So that's a slight win for SAG. Having more efficiency in the jungle with a Terrorblade does give Red Panda some space for EXP, so there's a bit of an upside to it, but not too much.
Well, Felix trying to make a rotation into the mid lane onto Ori, but it's kind of hard to break the distance as that Brewmaster pos for. He does, of course, secure the power into the 6-minute mark, and it looks like that's all he really wanted anyway. He's back down to the bot lane where they'll just continue trying to shut down Eurus, and well, Eurus is efficiently being shut down. He's 23-3 right now on the PL. You look at God King, he's really caught up now. 43-6, top of the last hit spawn in that jungle. That's a real big problem here for Vici Gaming that they're going to need to sort out soon. But I believe they're just waiting on Ori to get enough levels up to make a rotation.
It's gonna be down to those mids to get the early aggression out. And do you see rotations up? Felix wanting to stop that push up top, but he's still level 3 on that Brewmaster, and Yang just cops a couple of hits. He's got the Vanguard up at sub 7 minutes on the Centaur, so he is just unkillable at this point in the game.
Yeah, quite literally. They literally can't kill him unless that Lena comes in with some magic damage, but even then. They'll have to ignore the Centaur and maybe just focus on PYW, but there's no real point in that either. Red Panda. He'll be alright. OP God could be in trouble bot lane. DY making his rotation back into that safe lane, but looks like OP will be just okay to walk out of there. Red Panda gonna go in onto Yang, but you just don't have the damage output. There's no point in doing that. Luckily for him, Yang does miss the hoof stomp. I mean, they're obviously trying to contest that neutral camp and not give all that gold away to Yang. Probably not worth your life, though.
No, definitely not. I mean, to be fair to SAG, there's not really much the supports can do. Like, OP God is maintaining his lane solo, so there's no need to commit. They can really just play tag up top, but this tier 1 is basically gone.
That it is. It's a slow process, but they are chipping away. They glyph it up. Yang does not care. Meanwhile, mid lane, they are going onto that Lena. DD in trouble. Inkswell going to be there, and they do get another kill. Ori will take that one. And that's the second time this game so far that DD has died on that Lena. And it is just off the back of DY rotating on the Grimstroke. And, well, SAG, they haven't been able to respond to that because they've been so focused on defending that top lane that by the time they TP'd down to help him out, he was already dead.
Yeah, it's a lot of missed opportunities for SAG. It looks like they really are just hoping God King gets a lot of his early farm and starts really becoming a menace, but you want to play around with DD's fight. Like, he's at level 8. He's got Laguna. He hasn't found a kill. That is a bit of an issue for a bursty hero like this.
On top of that, he has an Arcane Rune. He really wants to commit that Laguna with the Arcane Rune if he can. He's got the Arcane Boots up now, and I guess he's probably going to build into maybe an Aether Lens or something here, but he's going to need to get a bit more active than this, DD. You wouldn't mind just making a rotation up towards PYW, though Yang, now pressuring him out of that neutral camp, will take those creep kills and does also get a trusty shovel for himself now. But Red Panda going to be around the corner. Felix there as well, but they have zero confidence in being able to take this man down, and he'll stampede away anyway.
Yeah, I mean, look, like, Yang is not finding kills for the most part, but he is forcing these heroes to stay around his area, which means your side lanes are just open. It's a bit harder to spread the farm between God King and DD because they're sharing the same side of the jungle, and they're just not farming efficiently enough. VG, they're not massively ahead, mind you. It's just a 1k advantage on VG's side, although if they catch Yang...
Can they kill him, though? Laguna? No.
Oh, no.
There's no damage. He's got that cloak up, and that's enough magic defense, and now Red Panda gonna get caught out here and is definitely dead. And I'll tell you what, John, Vici Gaming have Yang to thank for how this game is going right now. He's doing such a great job on that offlane Centaur.
Oh, he is. It's just so disruptive and so hard for SAG to even commit. I think they just give up in the top lane. They should just focus elsewhere. PL's a very juicy target, and yours has been showing in the bot lane still, feeling confident on that hero. That's something they can definitely abuse while he's still squishy.
I believe it's a matter of Vici want to take the Dire jungle away, and SAG can't afford to give it away because of the Terror Blade. So I believe that's why they're actually just focusing up at that top lane for now. But Yang's going to start rotating down the mid lane now and start focusing that tier 1 tower down. And again, we just saw that even if you have 3 or 4 heroes, it just doesn't matter. The man does not die, and he's about to have that full Hood of Defiance up. So at that point, you just wonder how you take him out in the first place. And, well, bot lane, they're going to make the chase down to PYW. Felix, you are way too far, sir. He does have Primal Split, though. But Ori now joining in with DY. They're going to Inkswell on to Red Panda. Nice Cogs pushback, though, from Red Panda. Will save his life. But this still allows Eurus to keep freely farming up on this PL and catching up. And, well, Yang just takes the T1 mid. Just by himself.
Yeah, just all these movements being forced out of SAG is just really leaving the map vulnerable. Now, they are getting their job done, like God King's not being threatened at all, and he is maintaining number 1, number 2 net worth to hide up with Yang. So our Terrorblade is growing big, but everyone else on SAG's side is not. DD's start has just been so slow, OP God as well. Just not managing to find those early spikes, and this is much more worrying for SAG because the Venomancer timings are so sensitive, and you're just not seeing that impact from this hero.
I mean, you were in the first few minutes, but after that, he just hasn't been able to do anything. This has given all the space in the world for Ori to farm up as well as on that Ember, and he's getting close to that Maelstrom now, so he'll have a nice little power spike in terms of damage as well. And you look at DD, he's still just trying to focus in and try to get that Aether Lens up. He can actually disassemble his boots right now and get it up, and he will. And that kind of spells the story of the game right now for SAG. Like, your mid laner does not feel confident to be too close to the side of Vici Gaming. He'd rather be able to just stand back and spam spells. We'll see if it pays off. But look at Yang, he's just standing in the mid lane now, trying to threaten the T2 tower.
Yeah, and again, you can't stop this. He is just too tanky even this far out. There's nothing there. They tried to commit down bot. Looks like they will find the bot tier 1 here for SAG's side. Nice objective for them to pick up, but they're just receiving too much pressure across the map in exchange.
They are. Well, Yang and the rest are just going to take over that Dire jungle now, and SAG are going to try and do the same thing down at the bot lane. This game feels a little bit different as well to game 1 for SAG. Like, God King's farming great, and we've talked about this many times now, but it's not like the first game where he was playing anti-mage, right? Where you can have crazy influence no matter what, you know, what skills are up. You're so dependent on that Metamorphosis as a Terrorblade that once it's down and it's on cooldown, all this net worth is essentially just negated for SAG.
Yeah, it definitely is, and are you seeing this river, Mike? It looks disgusting. Like,
oh,
I'm using the TI4 map. It looks literally out of place, like a bad texture.
It's I don't know what this is meant to be.
Blood?
I guess. BG, I'm gonna start moving into the mid lane. OP gone, trying to scout out, but there's the Inkswell Remnant forward. OP tried to Gale at least, but it won't even get off, but he gets the poison over, and now Felix will come in, but he doesn't have mana for the Primal Split. So he can't even split and try to catch someone, and now Yang, he's gonna get Red Panda. Silence out, Red Panda, they should have the damage, and they do. Vici Gaming are running circles around SAG right now, and there's just nothing they can do about it.
Yeah. It's really bad as well. I think, like, PYW, all the spells he steals from Veno's Grave, even when he just steals Plague Ward. I mean, he farms so much faster, he has free vision around the map, he gets to shove out lanes, he gets to build up farm, and he has an instant cast point on those wards. It's just kind of ridiculous how much better Rubik is with these wards.
That he is. Well, apart from the fact that he doesn't have Poison Sting, which kind of sucks.
Oh, it does. It carries it.
Wait, what?
As far as I remember, yeah.
DY? Oh, you're right, it does. DY is going to be in trouble now. Oh, he's alright. He'll survive.
How ridiculous is that? You get the slow as well. Like, all the control on the Rubik. It's pretty dumb.
That wasn't a thing back in the day, was it? I don't remember that being a thing. Really?
I think it always was. I mean, I can't recall how far back this was, but and as far as I know, it's like Eclipse.
Oh, DD, they've got the defusal up on Eurus. He's just rushing forward, hook shot in, but it only gets the illusions, and now the Soulbind is there. They do allow the Lina to run out, but you might lose at least the Brewmaster in return. He's going to try and make a run out of there before his time is up. Inkswell out onto Yang. It's going to be a bit early, but they still know where Felix is, and he is definitely dead. In fact, Red Panda is not going to get lucky either. He's been trapped up by Eurus. He's also gone. In fact, what are you still doing there, DD?
Oh, no.
I thought he may have made a run for it by this point. He'll use the Shadow Amulet, but it will mean nothing. PYW, he gets a double kill, and it's straight into the mid lane to defend up against Terrorblade Illusions.
Yeah, it's just so difficult for SAG to force these fights out. They can't afford to commit, and they're just bleeding out. I mean, on the one hand, they're only losing supports, besides DD. But you're giving God King all the space, so your Terrorblade's having good progression. That's a positive, but it just doesn't feel like enough. Like, I'm trying to spin this, but you're just not having impact in these earlier cores that you're giving a lot of weight for the Terrorblade to carry.
It seems as though God King is literally going for 3 or 4 core items before he gets involved at all. Yang, he's been jumped on. This will be a big kill if they can get it, and it looks like they probably can. Yang will finally fall here up at that top lane. And this could be the turning point. As now you feel like you might have a chance here to fight as SAG, but here they go. They run in. Eurus with the Inkswell straight onto that Brewmaster. And they kind of rub it in. It's like, no, no, no. Not quite yet, guys. You're going to need a bit more farm than that. And looks like SAG, I'd still be very happy with the fact that they just got the Centaur.
Yeah, still a fairly big pick-off to pick up. I mean, that's the first death of Yang. Just finally getting that punishment in is pretty darn good news for SAG, and not quite the turning point yet, but it could be the start if they maintain that kind of momentum here.
God King just rushing the butterfly now. It's a very interesting style of Terrorblade we're seeing here. I can't remember the last time I saw him use meta. He's had it off cooldown for a while, and it's almost like just in case he needs to get involved in that team fight, he always has it. You don't really need to use it to farm anymore because he's feeling like an absolute truck. But at the same time, you kind of question where this is the right play, where you're just kind of a pacifist and not getting involved, but they need to now. Top lane, Eurus could be in trouble. The Poison Nova came out. They're going to try and protect their POS 1, and they will. The Stampede is there, and now they jump back in. They have bound the leader there with that Soulbind. Hookshot in for Red Panda, but it's not going to matter. They're going to get 2 straight off the bat, and now DY falling low, but who cares if the Grimstroke dies? He doesn't, but here comes that Terrorblade. He hits very, very hard. He'll go after Ori, and that Remnant out. Eurus still going to be in trouble. He's been slowed up, still trying to make a run for it. God King can't quite catch up. He's just been kited out. Eurus? Don't go AFK on us, sir. This is not the time. God King going to turn around back onto that PL. And, oh, Eurus, no.
What?
That is not how you kite on PL up against Terrorblade.
He was free. They were walking away from him. He turned back around to try to make a play.
I believe
onto
he was
Felix.
I believe he was kiting out, and the idea was he thought his team would kite back in and turn the team fight completely. But it looks like everyone was on a different page. Like, Yang wasn't interested, and neither was Ori. And so they kind of just maybe just miscommunicated, and unfortunately Eurus goes down.
Yeah, that's a costly mistake, SAG, off the back of that fight. Not many kills, but that's enough to give God King his butterfly. He's got a major timer up on the Terrorblade, surprisingly enough, going for the Basher. Nothing like a BKB here. So he really just wants to go all in on offense with his Terrorblade, understanding that he has a lot on his back end. Well, he has farmed like a beast. He is way ahead of all the heroes in VG's side. This has to compensate for the fact that everyone else's farm is taking the backseat. OP is so far behind, DD is so far behind, that this has to be worthwhile. And so far, it's been working out okay for God King. VG, they need to play around that Metamorphosis usage. When it's down, they should know that's time to fight.
Yang will go in onto that Brewmaster again, top lane. The rest of his team is coming to help him out. They'll commit the Stampede and just rush for it. In fact, no, Yang wants out of this, but here comes DY, getting the Soulbind off on the clock. And SAG seem to be willing to fight again. God King, he doesn't have meta right now, but they have it in 20. In fact, hookshot in onto Yang. They really want that Centaur, but Red Panda gets blown up. But with that Primal Spring, they want to keep following up here. They don't want to back off. Meta is now available in 10. They have found Eurus with that stun. Poison Nova is out from OP God. They're falling very low here to Ori though. Ori going after DD, does claim that killer now with the silence out on God King. Can he sunder in time? He can. Ori's in trouble with that Poison Nova. He might tick out and he does. God King though, it's him versus the world. Can he actually survive this and somehow turn it back? I doubt it, but he's going to try. They chase him down. He has a lot of armor, but no mana left, and he is almost certainly just dead. As Yang is in trouble as well. He's ticking down to that Spirit Vessel and all the poison damage. He's not really healing up in the fountain either, but he will be able to now, and they do get OP God.
Yeah, it's a really topsy-turvy fight. I mean, losing Ori very early on looked like a win for SAG, but they could not sustain that prolonged fight. A lot of that is off the back of PYW stealing the Brewmaster ult, stealing that split, giving themselves the tools for control and stuns. That was enough for VG to get the cleanup, so you have to be extremely careful if you're Felix in allowing that spell to be stolen. If it is, then PYW does an amazing job.
Red Panda. Maybe glad he missed that hook as Ori was just there. Wanted to try and take the Arcane Rune away from the side of Vici Gaming, but won't quite get so lucky. And now with Ori holding that Arcane as well as that Aghanim Scepter, looks like he's ready to just go in. And they know where DD is. Remnants forward, has so much range, and oh, this Lina. Look at the farm right now of DD. He's 4th last in terms of net worth.
Yeah, they've sacked all their cores on SAG's side just to give God King that good game. And that just constrains him so much. When there's no Metamorphosis, there is no fight. There's no defense. There's nothing to show from SAG because the Terrorblade is not ready. The Terrorblade is all they have right now.
Oh, Vici Gaming just really putting a clinic on this game. 9k net worth lead now. Bounties being placed onto Eurus. I'm not sure how possible that is right now for SAG, but you never really know. They are a confident kind of team. Well, I suppose on the brighter side for SAG, God King is very close to having that Satanic up. That might help his cause a little bit. VG going to find a regen rune to bottle up there for Ori as well, so that's going to feel very nice for him.
Yeah, the one thing right now for VG is that they don't really have a Spirit Vessel. They haven't really invested in any hero for that. I mean, there are a lot of ways to purge it off.
Sorry, John. Aghanim Scepter on PL. What does that even do again?
Wait, what?
Okay, so you remove the cooldown and minimum distance on Phantom Rush.
Yeah.
He's going straight ads. He's got it.
I thought he was going Manta style and had the Yasha up. That's not a build we've seen in a very long time with a Phantom Rush, and most certainly not third item pickup, but that does give Eurus a lot of ways to run. Like, he has been kited around. I think that's been a massive issue for the PL. This does fix that up.
Not even that, though. With it having no cooldown, you've essentially just added 44 Agi. Because it does give you that bonus Agi when you Phantom Rush in, but mid lane, they're going to jump in now onto God King, but he does not react. He just keeps hitting that T1 tower. He's going to secure. No deny. Inkswell on the PL illusion. Won't quite get there onto Felix. Bounty being placed on that Brewmaster. We'll have to be careful. Now Yang, who has he found? He has got DD again.
Oh.
The mid laner dying straight away, and he's given the call to get back, but they're going to lose Red Panda as well. And now it's back to that Roshan pit.
Yeah, and without the clock, they're not going to be intervening in this one very easily. It's just going to be given away. VG, first rush of the game, going to be handed to them, and it's going to be really tricky for SAG to fight into this. I mean, that Ags on Eurus just makes it so hard to control and makes him hit so much harder that your windows here for SAG really are just shrinking.
That it is. More items just coming out on VG. Now you've got the blink up on PYW as well. 4 stuff coming out on DY. I mean, they're getting past the Lina now. I mean, they have been past the Lina. It's you know, John, we questioned the draft in the drafting stage. And this is kind of why. Because till this till this point, I still don't really know what this draft is meant to do from SAG.
Well, I can tell you what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to win out aggressively early on. It was supposed to make use of the DOTs on Veno, the burst damage from the Lina, the Metamorphosis push you could pump out with the Terrorblade for an aggressive early game. But that window has faded away. They've got to play the long game now, which is building up on God King. He's trying his best. He's trying to go for the tier 1 top. But they're looking at their tier 2 bot being chipped away, and that's their last outer tower on SAG's side.
God King's not only going for that tier 1 tower, John, he's going for a very particular item in this game, and I can't quite blame him. I have a feeling they're going to need every ounce of damage they can get, as they are kind of missing their position too. I would not call this Lina a mid laner at this point.
No.
This is at best a position 4.
Yeah, it's fallen behind so far. Even the progression on Felix, like he was doing so good in the first 2 games, but this Brewmaster performance, he's behind Rubik's farm as well. Like he's behind his Lina, he's behind Rubik.
Red Panda dies again. They're gonna try onto Yang. He is the hardest target to go on. God King pop the meta for that. Oh, that's a real shame. They used meta, they used Primal Split, they used everything. They didn't really hold him down long enough, and even if they did, it's still the Centaur. They'll go in for the Tornado, but that's just at the end of the Primal Split. And seeing that, Vici Gaming, they might just feel very confident to just keep going with that Aegis and maybe go high ground.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping them now. They know the tools have been used up. It's a very big opening for VG. They should be able to find some nice objectives off the back of this.
Eurus gonna take out that Dominator creep. Just a nice easy 200 gold for him. Not that he really needs it right now, but well, the high ground defense is still going to be quite difficult to go into. Though Inks will up that illusion of the PL. These Veno wards are always a pain in the butt to get through, but now if you have your own Veno wards, you can slowly tick away at them, I guess. It seems as though they might need to take care of OP God first before they can actually make this high ground play.
Yeah, that is one of the strengths of SAG. While the Veno is up, the Veno wards right now are still fairly annoying to deal with. So that does keep VG off the high ground, but the area to farm in for SAG is still small. You do have the Demon Edge up for God King. So he's that much closer towards the Divine, and that could be the shot in the arm SAG's looking for. Just the additional damage to push them over the edge. But it is such a risk with a hero like Terrorblade now. I mean, he is not that tanky at all with his kind of build.
Well, they've smoked up. Ori coming through the back. He's going to spot out Felix, but no, goes for the Remnant. Who is he caught out? It is the Lina again, and she just melts so darn quick. Now they also find that Veno, so OP God definitely going to die as well. You haven't got a buyback on OP God, but you do have one on DD. And they might, once again, try to go down mid.
Yeah, I mean, you've taken the Veno out. That was the main issue in the high ground push, so you have more leeway to just throw your bodies up the high ground. You've got the Basher flying out now as well onto Eurus, if I recall right. And that just gives him a lot more leeway as well in terms of man fighting if he so needs.
Well, that tier 3 tower not going to last very long. They won't buy back on DD, they're just going to hold out on that. Repair kit up with the Glyph, and that's going to protect that tier 3 again. Now the Aegis expires to make matters worse for Vici Gaming, so they can't actually confidently make that push up. It looks like they'll just play this cautiously and back off.
Yeah, and that's about the right time for it as well. The Primal Split from Felix is up and running. You've got the Metamorphosis on hand for God King, so this is the time where SAG can actually fight back in. A smart pull back from VG. This does give SAG that time to get the farm for the Sacred Relic, and it's fairly close. 1,500 gold away from the Divine for God King.
That's what you need. even once he has that, I can't 100% say that that's going to make all the difference. It's just going to give you a hell of a lot of damage to pump out. And it really does feel like a 1v5 situation right now for God King. In fact, Yang, who has he got now? They tried to take the outpost and gain a bit of map control. It's not going to work out, and now Ori, he knows DD's around here somewhere. PYW connects the dust. He does get it, now with the vision as well. How does he know? Oh my goodness, PYW. That's revolting.
Yeah, they've just kept BD on the ground. Like, he is not having fun. They are definitely not having fun on SAG's end. Just how shut down these cores are. They've still got that chance. You are seeing the lead of VG really widen though. 15k. I mean, you take a look at Eurus. The Abyssal is going to be up and running fairly soon. So this PL, even when the Divine's out, with no defensive items, God King is going to be a very easy target to just isolate like that.
Now the river is green all of a sudden, apparently. I didn't even know that you could turn it green.
Yeah, it's slime, apparently. I'm not sure what levels those need.
Really beyond our salary, John. Just leave it at that.
Oh, man.
You ever think we'll get to the point where like they'll have like pasta sauce or something for the river? Like just meatballs flying through the mid lane, just making everyone hungry while they're trying to beat the other mid laner?
Don't give them any ideas, Mike.
I want that.
Don't give them... I'd kill for it. Honestly, I would probably invest for that. That's just so distracting. It's like, even just the blood is distracting enough. Something about the material in that just not rendering properly. Perhaps Valve needs to look at the implementation of their occlusion there. It just looked a bit off. They could.
Well, some very big words you used in there, John.
Oh, just, you know, trying to make use of that education I have, and will you look at that? The Divine's up on the God King. Very befitting of his name.
I'm not very educated myself, John, but that Divine generally means that you might have a chance back into this game now. So God King, we'll see if he can get it done. Dota Plus has almost given up. It's sitting at 89%. Although once he got that Divine, it started dipping back the way of SAG. So they've raised their chances by a couple percent for now, as God King will have his smoke broken. OP giving vision for the team with those Veno wards. It's not the initiation they wanted for SAG, so they're going to back off again and go back to the drawing board, maybe try again a bit later.
They smoke up again.
They've got to try, right?
God King's just farming. Yeah, but God King's just opting to not join them this time around and just farm up.
I believe they might be assuming that there's a counter smoke happening, but it's not. Vici Gaming is just chilling out right now, just biding their time. They're giving more time for Yang. He's trying to finish off that Heart of Tarask now. He wants to be the big beefy boy, which he already has been pretty much this whole game. Once he has that up, it's going to be even harder to get through all that raw HP that he has. Mind you, currently, God King is hitting for approximately, just over 600 damage. Now, assuming that he pops the meta, we're talking above 700, maybe even 800 damage on that Terrorblade. He is going to be going for the safer route as well, and going for the BKB, so he doesn't want to be too aggressive with this build. Needs that defensive capability as that Terrorblade. But you'd love to see him finish off with something huge like a Daedalus to really amp up that added damage he's getting from that Divine Rapier.
Oh yeah, I mean that would be the ideal, but he's gonna have to stagger his farm, so the BKB is gonna be really important for him. And once you have that, I think that's when SAG can actually take fights. They're very hesitant now because it's simply not safe. But once you have the BKB on your Terrorblade, it's gonna be fantastic. You do have it on DD, so even your Lina can kind of stand and fight just a bit better now. Certain things just popping back in for SAG to give them a bit more oomph in these fights. But you have to consider what's coming out on VG as well. Yang has a heart.
He does.
That Centaur is just so much tankier, and once you hit 25, you're gonna have that Retaliate aura.
Oh, they're going for the Roshan, John. They're going for a sneaky Roshan play. Bounty being
Oh,
placed
that's
onto
fast.
DD already, but it's a fast Roshan. Do they not know what's happening? I don't believe they do. They must, surely.
Oh,
Now they
no.
do scan it out. Remnant forward. It does give him a slight bit of vision. Do they know he has the Divine Rapier? God King pops the BKB. Aegis on the deck. He does pick it up, and now the team fight starts. They go straight on top of that PL. Eurus is dead. Now the hook shot forward. The two-man Kong's out from Red Panda. He's looking to set up for his team, and it looks like they might be able to get Yang here. Can they get through the HP? No, he blinks away. Now with the hoof stomp, DD trying to set up with an LSA. It does connect on the Grimstroke. DY is down as well. Neither one really have buyback right now apart from that Grimstroke, but Yang, he's trying to make a run for it. He's been tornadoed up again by the Yules of the OP God. And that heart means nothing when you have that much damage. No buyback on Eurus, no buyback on Yang. There is an Aegis on God King. And things just got a whole lot closer.
Oh yeah, that was by itself a 4K swing going the way of SAG. They've got a lot of momentum behind them now. This is when it gets really scary for VG. They need to play smart with yours. They can't just toss him in anymore. They have to be careful about God King, just how much damage he can really do. I mean, he just melts everything in his way.
Is he actually going to buy that butterfly? Like, he's already got one. Do you really need to go that Dota 1 style build where you buy multiple butterflies? So, I thought we were kind of past that. I'm sure he isn't. I'm sure he'll go for something else.
The evasion's pretty nice if you don't have the MKB just yet in PL. So
True.
that does make him tankier if you want to play that way.
That is true. PYW getting the split himself on the Rubik now and committing it straight away to try and slow down God King. The repair kit means nothing to this Terrorblade right now. This net worth lead apparently means nothing either. He just keeps going. They'll have Yang up in 10. They may want to go right now, but hook shot in. They found Eurus again with that hook shot, but it looks like Red Panda, he's just trying to let his team escape here, and, well, they're not going to escape that easy. Or he goes in on OP God, now surrounding them. OP's dead. There'll be a buyback from Red Panda, but God King could be in trouble as well. He still has the Aegis. They're taking everyone else out. Felix dies, but buys back immediately as well. Do they keep going? It looks like they just do not want to go close to the Terrorblade. He'll leave. BKB TP out from DD. Yang was unable to get there in time to cancel the TPs off. And they will get themselves a Rax. And suddenly, John, they are 1 Rax ahead of Vici Gaming.
Yeah, a really good turnaround from SAG. You look at that win probability, Mike, it swung all the way down. It's now 59 to 41, still in favor of VG. But you gotta admire how much SAG put in to even put a dent in that. And VG, you're gonna have to play a bit safer. That Minotaur Horn will help Eurus' cause. He does want to use it, and they're probably just gonna have to wait for that MKB on the PL. Because right now, you're not getting the damage out onto God King consistently enough to really take care of that Terrorblade.
How far is this win probability going to go down to? It's alright, it's going to sit at 58% for now. So it's basically almost down back to a 50-50. Nice little Spell Prism being found out. He's going to use it there on the Terrorblade. Now that reduction on the cooldowns of spells and items, that's 20% reduction, John. I don't think he's going to keep it, but I wouldn't blame him either.
Yeah, it's really, really strong. That's a 6.4 second Sunder. That is pretty busted. It reminds me of the old days when the talent was absolutely broken, so I can see the value in that.
Oh, God King, he has to be careful. There's a smoke here from the side of Vici Gaming, but they don't want to deal with him first. They want the backlines. There's not many buybacks left on SAG. OP God going to be rushed in on by Eurus with the Inkswell. They'll put the Lotus Orb on top, but he's still in trouble. Hook shot in from Red Panda. He controls the backlines. Now the Terrorblade. Halberted up. Disarmed, but he wants to fight. He will go just one-shot DY. Now after Eurus. That's the main man they want to kill off, but here comes Ori with the chains going after DD and OP God, but they can't stand there and fight while this Terrorblade's around the area. They have to kite him out as best as possible. Ori still trying to play around here. Yang jumps in with the hoof stomp now. Setting up. They get OP God. 2 diebacks on the side of SAG. Still going with that soulbind now, trying to get the dieback on the Brewmaster, but he will not die, and Yang is almost dying himself. Meanwhile, DD will die to Eurus. It is a 2v5 situation here for SAG, but make it 3v5. DD will buy back. God King is about to die if he's not too careful. He's going to lose the Metamorphosis very, very soon, but Laguna is there. They kill off Eurus. He does have buyback though. Ori still going. The meta's gone. Sunder out, protecting DD, not letting him die back. The Force Stuff's there on Ori, getting him out of there, but now Yang, he could be in trouble. He'll be chased down. Great LSA out from DD. Can they get him out of there? Well, Yang, he has the Ink Swell, but that's all he has right now. It's just him and PYW, but PYW does commit a nice stun out from the Rubik and also blink out. And they hold. They hold on again.
Oh, it's getting really on the edge here for both teams. SAG just having the Aegis popped right at the end after they found a kill on Eurus. If Eurus was alive, that would have been very bad for God King. But they do manage to force Phantom Lancer just to overextend a bit. So a bit too keen there on VG. SAG still holding on. I mean, it's such a strange game when you can say SAG's doing really well when they're 15k behind, they're 22 kills behind as well, and they're still keeping this game in check. They're just playing really well to make up for that huge deficit they were facing up against.
Oh, Abyssal Blade now up as well. God King, he's got his own form of stun now. He is officially 6-slotted. He's kept the Spell Prism as well. He wants those lower cooldowns on all his items. Are they going to go for a secondary Rax already? They are. They've got balls of steel, these guys. They do not care. Eurus will respawn. Meta popped, and he's going to take that tier 3 tower very, very quick. Remnant in. Yang is going to be there as well. It's a lot of damage out on God King, but he will survive. Now, using the Sunder, it gets turned around. But he heals up with the lifesteal. And with his BKB down, I doubt he'll be willing to keep going. They do back off. He's queued up the Moonshot as well on that Terrorblade, John, so he has the gold for it. He just needs to save for buyback. I mean, the thing is, though, if you lose the Divine Rapier, the game might be over anyway. But he's going to play it safe and keep that buyback gold if he can.
Yeah, I don't blame God King. I think there's still a lot of ways to play around after the initial drop. As long as the fight's closer towards their base or a TP point, there are ways to salvage that kind of situation. So, don't really blame him. Don't really fault him for playing defensively still. You do see some opportunities for Vici to build up. Like, you've got the Lincolns on Ori, just additional defense out for the Ember. And they are smoked up. They want to try to find something with a slight opening.
Can they get anything, though? They're going to run straight into each other. Inkswell going to be there on Yang, but he's unwilling to jump. God King farming in a place he considers safe, but it could be very dangerous right now. Does get the Moonshot up. No buyback gold for him, but he doesn't care. Again, without that Divine Rapier, I don't think it matters. And even an Alpha Wolf being given the way of God King. So Felix just getting that Alpha Wolf, giving it over to the Terrorblade. And God King. Satanic up on Eurus as well. God King just casually sitting at 36 or 37k net worth now on that Terrorblade. Does go for the Aghanim Scepter build next. This is the literal definition of 4 Protect 1. These guys are literally going to throw all their bodies, and they're going to get all their items to revolve around this one guy. Roshan, going to be up in 2 minutes.
That's a pretty decent investment. I mean, it is paying off. God King is really starting to get that work. The Ags is going to be nice for that fear. Just a lot more control for SAG, and you have to note, VG, they don't have a BKB on Eurus. They don't have a way of him just kind of stand there and get that done once that fear is in play. So that's something for VG to watch out for. Eurus has been kind of kited around in very recent fights and doesn't have buyback gold, so if he does get caught out here, that might be it for Vici.
It's a very scary situation here. Both teams just farming to their heart's content. They are going to go on to God King. There's the hoof stomp with the Ink Swell. This could be enough. Remnant's forward as well. He's down. The Rapier's on the deck. They all jump in, but this game could be over. Felix, he can't get the Rapier for the team. Who has it? It is the PL. Eurus did pick it up.
Oh, no.
And Felix, he will also die. Just one mistake was made. And suddenly, that Terrorblade is a non-factor.
Yeah.
GG.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's no way. There's just no way you hold anymore. And one misstep, and we saw that in game 2. You can't afford to give any single mistake that small towards VG. They will punish hard. And SAG, they held on for a remarkably long time. They make some amazing plays with that Divine. Just throw it away in the end.
With that, John, of course, that is our one series over for tonight. We do have another one coming straight up after, but that means that VG Gaming will make it through to the upper bracket final. Big congratulations to them. SAG not going anywhere apart from the lower bracket, but not out of the league quite yet. We'll find out who SAG's opponent is going to be in our next series, and we'll also find out who VG Gaming's opponent is going to be in the upper bracket final in our next series. And our next series is going to be Royal Never Give Up versus PSG LGD, and that should be a pretty explosive match between the two. John, I'm going to ask you quickly as well, considering we have come to the end of the series, if you were to give an MVP out, who would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd have to give it to PYW.
Okay.
It's very hard. For me, it's either PYW or, funny enough, Felix. I just think Felix's impact was really felt throughout all 3 games, but if you have to choose the winning side, PYW just had that same impact as well, or VG.
All right. I was going to go with Yang, but then again, that was just based off the last game. I think as a whole, if you're talking about the whole series, it's very, very hard to choose. But I'd probably agree with you on PYW if we were going to just choose someone from VG Gaming. Still, we'll be back with our second series of the night. It is going to be the second upper bracket series between PSG, LGD, and Royal Never Give Up. We'll see you very, very soon.